The fluorescent lights buzzed like angry hornets overhead, casting harsh shadows on the tiled floor of the Elmwood High locker room. I was peeling off my sweat-soaked jersey, the fabric clinging to my skin like a bad memory, when the door creaked open behind me. Before I could turn, a hand, firm, familiar, gripped my shoulder, spinning me around with a force that stole my breath. And there was Jake, his eyes wild with something I'd never seen in them before. Raw, unfiltered desperation. "Alex, I can't do this anymore," he whispered, his voice cracking like thunder in the empty space between us. His fingers dug into my bare arms, not in anger, but in a plea that pinned me more surely than any fastball ever had. And then, without warning, he kissed me, hard, urgent, like the world was ending and this was the only salvation left. I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs like it was trying to escape. Jake Harlan, my best friend since we were kids chasing fireflies in the cornfields outside our sleepy Indiana town, was kissing me. Not in some joke, not in a dare like the ones we'd pulled during sleepovers to make each other laugh. This was real. His lips were soft but insistent, tasting of Gatorade and the salt of unspoken secrets. The locker room usually echoing with the chaos of post-practice banter. Guys slapping towels, blasting hip-hop from Bluetooth speakers. Felt like a tomb now, silent except for the drip of a distant shower and the ragged pull of our breaths. I shoved him back, not because I wanted to, but because my brain short-circuited. "What the hell, Jake?" My voice came out hoarse, barely above a whisper, as I grabbed my towel from the bench and wrapped it around my waist like armor. My chest heaved, every muscle screaming from the doubleheader we just gutted through against Riverton High. We'd won, 7-5 on a walk-off single from our shortstop, but victory tasted like ash now. Jake stumbled back a step, his face flushing crimson under the unforgiving lights. He was still in his full uniform, pinstriped pants muddied at the knees, cleats untied and sagging. At 18, he was the picture of Midwestern All-American. Broad shoulders from years of hauling hay bales on his family's farm, tousled brown hair that always looked like he'd just rolled out of bed, and those green eyes that could charm a teacher out of extra credit or a girl out of her number at the county fair. But right now, those eyes were shattered glass, pleading for me to understand something I wasn't sure I did. Shit, Alex, I'm sorry." He ran a hand through his hair, tugging at the roots like he wanted to rip the truth out of himself. "I didn't mean to just spring it on you like that. But practice ended, everyone cleared out, and I saw you here, alone, and it hit me. If I didn't say it now, I never would." "Say what?" I snapped, though my pulse was still racing from the kiss. A traitorous heat blooming low in my gut that I shoved down deep. I'd known Jake forever, since 3rd grade, when he shared his Lunchables when my mom forgot to pack mine. We'd built forts in the woods behind my house, snuck beers from his dad's garage during harvest season, and dreamed about escaping this nowhere town for college scholarships and big league dreams. Baseball was our religion, the diamond our cathedral. He was straight as an arrow, or so I thought. The girls at school fawned over him, cheerleaders like Brittany Hayes, who'd painted his jersey number on her thigh for last year's homecoming. Me? I was the quiet catcher, the guy who blocked wild pitches and kept stats in a battered notebook. Invisible except to Jake. He swallowed hard, leaning against the cool metal of the lockers with a metallic thunk. "That I'm in love with you, have been for years. Every time we high-five after a win, every late-night drive blasting Springsteen with the windows down, every time you crash at my place and we talk shit about Coach till dawn. It's you, Alex. Always has been." The words hung in the air like smoke from a brush fire, choking me. Love? From Jake? I'd buried my own feelings so deep they might as well have been fossils. Stolen glances in the dugout, the way my stomach flipped when his hand brushed mine during warm-ups. In Elmwood, where the biggest scandal was Pastor Reynolds' affair with the choir director, being gay wasn't just taboo. It was a one-way ticket to whispers, stares, and faded friendships. My dad, a factory worker with calloused hands and a faded Marine's tattoo, would sooner disown me than see his only son go that way. And Jake? His family was old money farmers, the kind who donated pews to the church and hosted 4th of July barbecues that the whole town attended. This wasn't just unexpected. It was a grenade with the pin pulled. I sank onto the bench, the wood biting into my thighs through the towel. Jake, you can't. We can't. My mind raced, replaying the kiss. The press of his body against mine, solid and warm. The faint scent of his soap cutting through the locker room's stale sweat. Part of me wanted to pull him back, to taste that desperation again. But fear was a colder master. What if someone heard? What if? No one did. He dropped to his knees in front of me, close enough that I could see the freckles across his nose, the ones I'd always teased him about. Listen, I've been dying inside, man. Hiding it, pretending. Remember that party at Tyler's last summer? When I hooked up with that girl from Lafayette? It was fake. All of it. To prove something to myself, to everyone. But it didn't work. It just made me miss you more. I did remember. I'd nursed a beer in the corner, watching Jake disappear upstairs with her. A knot twisting in my chest that I'd chalked up to too much cheap light beer. This is messed up, I muttered, but my hand, traitor that it was, reached out, fingers grazing his jaw. His stubble was rough, real, grounding me in the surreal. We're seniors. Graduation's in 6 months. Scouts are coming to the sectional tournament. If this gets out, it won't. His voice was fierce now, that quarterback confidence bleeding through even though he was a pitcher, not a QB. We keep it quiet, just us, like always, but more. He leaned in, forehead resting against mine, and for a heartbeat, the world narrowed to the shared heat of our breaths. Please, Alex, tell me you feel it too. I did. God, I did. But admitting it felt like stepping off a cliff. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was the weakest yes in history, but his face lit up like we just clinched state, and before I could backpedal, he was kissing me again. Slower this time, exploratory, like he was mapping uncharted territory. We broke apart when the janitor's keys jingled in the hall outside, scrambling like guilty kids. I yanked on jeans and a hoodie, heart pounding as we slipped out the back door into the crisp April evening. The sun was dipping low over the flat fields, painting the sky in oranges and pinks that reminded me of the wildflowers we used to pick for our moms. Jake's truck was parked in the lot, a beat-up Ford F-150 with mud-splattered tires and a Royal sticker peeling on the bumper. He drove us to our spot, an abandoned grain silo on the edge of town, where we'd carve initials into the rust and talk about everything and nothing. That night, under a canopy of stars sharper than stadium lights, we talked, really talked, about the fear gnawing at us both, the what-ifs that kept us up at night. Jake confessed how he'd first realized it during a road trip to the state finals sophomore year. Me asleep against his shoulder on the bus, my head lolling just so, and something inside him shifted like a fault line. I admitted to the journals I'd burned last fall, pages filled with sketches of his hands gripping a bat, his laugh frozen in pencil strokes. By midnight, as fireflies blinked like Morse code in the dark, we'd made a pact. This was ours. No labels, no risks, just two friends navigating the unspoken, stealing moments in shadows. It felt fragile, like a fastball teetering on the foul line, but for the first time in years, I wasn't alone in the batter's box. The next week blurred into a fever dream of stolen glances across the infield during practice. Coach Ramirez barked drills. Harlan, keep that elbow up. Whitaker, quit daydreaming behind the plate. But my focus splintered every time Jake's eyes met mine, a secret spark passing like a hidden signal. We'd linger after, forgetting gear in lockers to buy a few extra minutes. Our conversations laced with double meanings only we understood. One afternoon, as rain pattered on the dugout roof, he passed me a water bottle, his fingers lingering on mine. You catch good today, he murmured, low enough for only me. Makes me want to throw wild ones just to see you stretch. Heat crept up my neck. Careful or I'll tag you out at home. It was flirtation wrapped in baseball banter, safe as a routine grounder. But inside it was fireworks. Then came the betrayal's first whisper, subtle as a curveball dropping low. It was Friday, game day against our rivals from Bloomington. The stands buzzed with parents and pom-poms, the air thick with grilled hot dogs and anticipation. I was taping my wrist in the locker room when Tyler Jenkins, our cocky third baseman, sauntered in with a smirk that set my teeth on edge. "Heard you and Harlan got real close after practice the other day," he drawled, snapping his towel at a bench. "What's that about? Some kind of victory ritual?" My blood iced. "What are you talking about?" I forced a laugh, but it rang hollow. He shrugged, too casual. "Saw him peel out late. You were with him. Looked intense." His eyes narrowed, probing, and I wondered if he'd glimpsed us from the parking lot. Jake's hand on my knee in the truck, or the way we'd hesitated before parting. "Just grabbing burgers." I lied, heart hammering. "You jealous?" Tyler chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Nah, just saying keep it straight. We got a team to win with." He clapped my shoulder, harder than necessary, and left, the door slamming like a warning shot. I told Jake later, over text as I lay in bed staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. "Tyler's sniffing around. Be careful." His reply came quick. "Screw him. We're good." But were we? Doubt crept in like fog off the Wabash River, clouding everything. Still, the pull between us was magnetic, undeniable. Saturday's game was a slaughter, 12-3 our way, and in the post-game huddle, Jake's arms slung around my shoulders felt like an anchor in the storm. That night, at the bonfire party on Old Man Whitaker's, my grandpa's back 40, the tension simmered. Beers flowed, country rock thumped from a pickup's bed, and girls in cut-off shorts danced barefoot in the grass. Jake and I stuck to the edges, nursing cans and trading stories, but the air crackled with what we weren't saying. Brittany Hayes cornered him near the fire, her laugh tinkling like wind chimes as she pressed close, whispering something that made him stiffen. I watched from across the flames, jealousy a bitter twist in my gut. When she kissed his cheek and flounced away, he met my gaze, mouthing sorry over the roar. I nodded, but it stung. How long could we dance this line before someone tripped? The sectional tournament loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon, 2 weeks away, with scouts from Purdue and Indiana State rumored to attend. Practice intensified, double sessions, weight room grinds till our muscles screamed mercy. And Jake and I fell into a rhythm, our secret weaving through the exhaustion like a lifeline. We'd meet at dawn sometimes, before the team arrived, tossing soft toss in the empty field while the world slept. Those moments were ours. His laugh echoing off the backstop as I snagged a low liner, the brush of his glove against my mitt lingering a beat too long. "Your poetry back there, Whitaker," he'd say, wiping sweat from his brow with the hem of his shirt, flashing a strip of tanned abdomen that made my throat dry. "Like you were born to frame my heat." I'd roll my eyes, hiding the flush. "Flattery gets you extra BP. Now throw." But beneath the ease, cracks formed. Tyler's comments multiplied. Offhand jabs in the weight room. "Harlan's got a new catcher? Hope he's not dropping balls." Sidelong glances during film sessions. I brushed them off, but paranoia took root, sprouting questions I couldn't voice. Had he seen more? Told someone? One evening, after a brutal scrimmage where Jake struck out the side with curveballs that bit like vipers, we escaped to the silo again. The air was thick with the scent of rain-soaked earth, thunder rumbling distant threats. Inside the rusted shell, we sat shoulder to shoulder on a blanket I'd stashed there weeks ago, sharing a thermos of coffee laced with whiskey from my dad's cabinet. Stolen in a moment of rebellion. "Tell me something real," Jake said, his head on my shoulder, voice muffled against my hoodie. The vulnerability in it undid me. This was the boy who'd cried when his dog died in 6th grade. The one who'd punched a bully for calling me 4 eyes over my glasses. I hesitated, then let it spill. "My old man's been on me about college. Says baseball's a pipe dream, that I need a real job like him at the plant. Welding sparks and overtime till your back's a pretzel." Dad's disappointment was a constant shadow. Divorced from Mom when I was 10, raising me on TV dinners and tough love. He came to games, clapped from the bleachers, but his silences afterward said more. "Don't screw this up, son." Jake's arm tightened around me. "He's wrong. You're the best backstop in the state." Scouts'll see it. He lifted his head, eyes searching mine in the dim light filtering through cracks in the metal. And if they don't, we go together. Roommates at IU, crashing parties, chasing whatever. The we hung sweet, a promise wrapped in possibility. I turned, capturing his lips in a kiss that started soft but deepened with the storm's approach. Hands roaming over clothes, hearts sinking in frantic rhythm. It was exploration without crossing lines. A dance of what-ifs that left us breathless and wanting. I love you, he murmured against my neck, the words a vow etched in the humid air. I love you too, I whispered back, the admission freeing something caged inside me. For the first time, it felt possible, like we could outrun the town's narrow gaze, build a life beyond cornfields and conformity. But reality intruded Monday morning. Coach pulled me aside after warm-ups, his mustache twitching like a live wire. Whitaker, got a word? We stepped into his office, a cramped box of trophies and faded banners smelling of old coffee. He leaned on his desk, eyes sharp. Heard some talk. You and Harlan. Anything I should know? Team chemistry's gold right now, but rumors can sour it fast. My stomach dropped. Rumors? Like what? He waved a hand. Kid stuff. Locker room BS. Just keep your heads in the game. No distractions. It was a warning, gentle but pointed, and I nodded like a puppet, escaping to the field with lies burning my tongue. I confronted Tyler at lunch, cornering him by the vending machines in the empty hall. What did you tell Coach? He popped a soda, smirking. Whoa, easy. Just mentioned seeing you too late. Thought he should know if there's drama. Drama? I stepped closer, voice low. There's no drama. We're friends. Teammates. His grin faded, replaced by something colder. Friends, huh? Look tighter than that. But hey, your business. He shouldered past me, leaving the echo of his warning. Jake took it in stride when I told him, but tension etched lines around his eyes. Tyler's an S. Always has been. Remember when he keyed my truck freshman year over a bet? I did. Jake had let it slide, playing the bigger man. But this felt different, heavier. We compensated with stolen touches. A knee bump under the cafeteria table. Notes slipped into glove bags with doodles of intertwined bats and mitts. The breaking point came midweek, during a rain delay. The team huddled in the gym, shooting hoops to kill time, when Tyler spiked a ball at Jake's head. Hard. Intentional. It grazed his temple, drawing blood, and chaos erupted. What the fuck, Jenkins? Jake lunged, fists clenched, but I was there, hauling him back as Coach stormed in. Enough! Ramirez bellowed, separating them. Tyler feigned innocence. Slipped Coach, but his eyes gleamed with malice. Later, in the parking lot under gray skies, Jake paced beside his truck, a bandage on his forehead. He's gunning for us. Knows something. I grabbed his arm, stopping him. Then we shut it down. No more risks. His face crumpled. Shut what down? Us? No, just the obvious stuff. Till after sectionals. The words tasted like defeat, but fear was a brutal coach. He nodded, but the light in his eyes dimmed. Okay, for the team. That night, alone in my room with posters of Derek Jeter curling at the edges, I replayed it all. The kiss, the confessions, the fragile joy. Was it worth the risk? Jake's texts lit my phone. Miss you already? And I typed back me too. But sleep evaded, chased by dreams of empty fields and echoing accusations. Sectionals arrived like a freight train, the air electric with stakes. Our first game against Hamilton Heights was a nail-biter, tied 4-4 in the ninth. Jake towed the rubber, sweat gleaming, and I crouched behind the plate, signaling cutters and sliders like lifelines. The batter fouled one off my mask. Stars exploded, but I shook it off, gunning a throw to second on a stolen base that tagged the runner out by a mile. The stands erupted as Jake fanned the side, clinching it 5-4 on a sac fly. In the dog pile, his hug lingered, a secret squeeze amid the cheers. We got this, he breathed in my ear. But Tyler's shadow loomed. Post-game, as we loaded the bus, He sidled up to a cluster of sophomores, voice carrying. Harlan's got a soft spot for Whitaker. Real soft. Laughter rippled, and my fists balled at my sides. Jake overheard, jaw tightening, but he said nothing, just boarded with a nod that said later. The bus ride home was subdued, victory muted by undercurrents. I sat beside him, our thighs touching under the seats, a silent anchor. His hand found mine in the dark, fingers lacing tight. Ignore him, he mouthed. I tried, but seeds of doubt took root. The semifinals against Westfield was our masterpiece. Jake's no-hitter shattered school records, my throws nailing 2 pickoffs. Scouts scribbled furiously from the bleachers, and Dad gripped my shoulder after, gruff pride in his voice. Proud of you, kid. This could be it. Jake's parents beamed from their folding chairs, his mom waving a homemade sign. In that moment, under floodlights painting the diamond gold, our worlds aligned, 2 boys from nowhere, on the cusp of somewhere. But elation soured the next day. A text from an unknown number. Saw you 2 at the silo. Cute. Keep it up? Attached was a blurry photo. Us on the blanket, heads close, unmistakable. Panic clawed my throat. I showed Jake at school, his face paling. Who? Doesn't matter. Delete it. But his voice shook. We traced it to Tyler. His smug deletion of the thread in group chat when confronted, the joke excuse that fooled no one. Coach suspended him for a game, but the damage festered. Whispers spread. Harlan and Whitaker. No way. Explains the late practices. The championship against Lafayette Jefferson loomed. Our golden ticket. But trust frayed like old laces. Jake withdrew, throws erratic in practice. I dropped balls, focus shattered. We need to talk, I said one night, cornering him by the bleachers. He looked wrecked, shadows under his eyes. Alex, what if it's not worth it? The team, the scouts, everything's at stake. The words sliced deep. You regret it? No. He pulled me into shadow, kiss fierce and apologetic. Just scared. For you. Me too. We clung there, the world narrowing to us, but release was fleeting. Game day dawned crisp, the stadium packed with locals in red and white. Lafayette jumped early, 3-0, Jake's arm betraying him with hanging sliders. I called for heat, but doubt echoed in every pitch. By the 7th, we trailed 5-2, fans murmuring defeat. Then the climax. Tyler, back from suspension, botched a routine double-play ball, runner safe, Lafayette scoring 2 more. Jake stormed the mound, yelling, "What the hell was that?" Fists flew in the infield. Tyler swinging wild, Jake dodging, me diving between them as umps and coach swarmed. Ejected. Both of them. The stands gasped, our season unraveling in dust and shouts. In the chaos, as security hauled Tyler away, he spat, "Keep protecting your boyfriend, Harlan." The word detonated. Silence fell, then murmurs swelled like a wave. Jake's face drained of color. I felt eyes boring into us. Teammates, parents, scouts. Coach's voice cut through. Bus. Now. The ride was a funeral procession, no music, no banter. Jake sat alone, staring out the window. I ached to reach for him but didn't. At school, his truck peeled out without a word. Texts went unanswered. Days blurred. Mom calling from her new place in Ohio, worried. Dad's silent dinners, fork scraping plate like accusation. A week later, the inevitable. Jake's mom cornered me at the gas station, eyes red-rimmed. "What happened, Alex?" "He's locked in his room, won't talk." Said something about, "You too." I mumbled excuses, fled to the fields alone, bat cracking against machine pitches till my hands blistered. Betrayal's full bloom came via voicemail. From Jake, voice hollow. I told them. About us. Dad flipped. Says I'm a disgrace. Shipping me to Uncle Ray's in Texas till college. Sober, Alex. For real this time. Don't call. The line went dead, taking my heart with it. Numbness settled like frost on the Wabash in winter, coating everything in brittle white. I replayed the voicemail on loop that night, each word a splinter under my skin. until Dad banged on my door. "Turn it off, son. Get some sleep." His voice was gruff, but there was a tremor. Had he heard? Did he know? School was a minefield. Teammates avoided my eyes in the halls, their "hey, man" greetings clipped, laced with pity or disdain. Tyler strutted like a peacock, high fives from hangers on echoing louder than necessary. Coach Ramirez pulled me into his office again, this time with the door shut tight. "Alex, level with me." He steepled his fingers, the championship trophy from last year mocking us from the shelf. "Harlan's gone. Family yanked him for personal reasons. Team's fracturing. You gonna man up or fold?" I stared at the floor, scuffing my sneaker on the linoleum. "I'm here, coach." "Good. But rumors." He sighed, rubbing his temples. "This town's small. Baseball's sacred. Fix your head, or it'll cost you that scholarship." Scholarship. The word anchored me, a rope in the riptide. Purdue had emailed interest. Indiana State too. Baseball was my out, the one thing Dad approved of without reservation. Losing Jake gutted me, but losing everything? Unthinkable. I threw myself into solo drills, fielding grounders till dusk, long toss till my arm burned, weights till sweat pooled like tears. The field became sanctuary, the crack of ash on leather a mantra. Survive. Endure. Mom called from Ohio, her voice soft over static. "Heard about Jake. You okay, honey?" Divorced 3 years, she'd landed on her feet in Dayton. Nurse at a clinic, dating an accountant with a labradoodle. She'd always been the gentle one, the listener. "No," I admitted, throat tight. We were. "I know, baby." "How?" Whispers traveled fast. "It's okay to love who you love. Just be safe. Come visit soon." Her acceptance was a balm, but it couldn't stitch the wound. Nights, I wandered the silo alone, tracing our initials. J&A, carved hasty with a pocket knife, fading under my fingers like ghosts. 2 weeks post-championship, the town buzzed with a new scandal. Tyler's dad caught embezzling from the co-op, forced resignation amid headlines in the Elmwood Gazette, poetic, almost his malice boomeranging. But schadenfreude soured. It didn't bring Jake back. Graduation crept closer, caps and gowns draped over lockers like shrouds. I walked the diploma stage numb, Dad's clap thunderous from the bleachers, Mom beaming via video call. "Proud of you, Alex." He grunted later over awkward steak at the diner, avoiding my eyes. Purdue in fall. Make it count. Summer unfurled lazy and merciless. Heat waves shimmering fields, cicadas droning like accusations. I worked shifts at the hardware store, stacking lumber and dodging Mrs. Harlan's pitying glances in the aisles. Jake's absence was a void. No texts, no drives, no him. I drive by his farm sometimes, the Harlan silos stark against sunsets, lights off in his window like a closed door. One humid July evening, as thunderheads brewed, I cracked. Drove to the fairgrounds, county fair in full swing, midway lights twinkling, air fried with funnel cakes and livestock musk. Kids screamed on the zipper. Families strolled, sticky-fingered from cotton candy. I wandered aimless, the crowd a blur, until a voice sliced through. "Alex." Brittany Hayes in denim shorts and a tank top, cowboy boots kicking gravel. She looked older somehow, less cheerleader, more woman. Hair loose, no pom-poms in sight. "Hey!" I managed, shoving hands in pockets. She tilted her head, appraising. "Heard about Jake. Sucks." "Yeah." The word hung, loaded. We ended up on a bench by the Ferris wheel, its cars creaking skyward like prayers. She sipped a lemonade, ice clinking. "He told me, before Texas, that he liked you." "Like, really?" My chest tightened. "When?" "Homecoming." Pulled me aside. Said he couldn't fake it anymore. I was pissed at first, felt used, but then, I got it. He's brave. You both are. Brave. The word echoed Jake's voicemail, twisting the knife. Does everyone know? Some. Not all. Town's got short memory. Tyler's mess buried it. She nudged my shoulder. You gonna be okay? I shrugged, but her kindness cracked the ice. Trying. We talked till the wheels' lights blurred. Her dreams of nursing school in Bloomington. My baseball hopes. For an hour, I wasn't the gay kid with the broken heart. I was just Alex, human and hashing life. Driving home, rain lashing the windshield, catharsis hit. I pulled over on a county road, let sobs rack me. Ugly, heaving cries for the boy who'd cracked me open. For the future we'd glimpsed and lost. Lightning forked the sky, illuminating fields I'd run as a kid. And in that storm, something shifted. Grief, yes, but gratitude too. For the love, however brief, that taught me I could feel that deeply. Fall beckoned with crisp leaves and college packets. Purdue welcomed me with sprawling campus. Big 10 banners snapping in wind off the Monon. Dorm life was chaos. Roommate Nate, a lanky engineering major from Chicago who blasted EDM and collected vintage comics. No baseball yet. Fall ball tryouts loomed. But the air hummed with possibility, away from Elmwood's gaze. I came out to Nate over pizza, words tumbling casual. Hey, heads up, I'm gay. He paused mid-bite, then grinned. Cool. My cousin's bi. Pass the pepperoni. Simple. Freeing. Classes challenged, calc sucking my soul, lit sparking essays on Whitman that felt personal. Weekends, I explored West Lafayette. Coffee shops with rainbow flags and windows, pride stickers on laptops. It wasn't perfect. Stairs in the student union. A drunk frat boy muttering slurs at a bar. But it was progress. Jake haunted peripherally. A mutual friend texted. He's at community college in Lubbock. Pitching for the club team. Asks about you. I didn't reply, but hope flickered. A pilot light, not yet flame. Thanksgiving pulled me home. Dad's house smelled of turkey and pine from the tree he'd wrestled up alone. Awkward at first. Small talk over mashed potatoes, football on TV. But as dishes cleared, he cleared his throat. Been thinking. He fiddled with his coffee mug, chipped from my little league days. About that Harlan boy. Your ma called. Filled me in some. My fork froze. Dad. He held up a hand. Let me finish. World's changing. Hell, I changed boots and Nam taught me judging's a fool's game. His eyes met mine, weathered but steady. If he made you happy, or whoever does, that's what counts. Just don't hide it from me. Tears pricked. Manly ones, I told myself. Thanks, Dad. We hugged. Clumsy but real, the first since I was 12. Human moments stitching us back. Christmas brought snow blanketing Elmwood like forgiveness. I shoveled the drive, breath fogging. When a truck rumbled up, familiar Ford, Texas plates muddied. Jake stepped out, duffel slung over shoulder, looking taller, leaner, but those green eyes unchanged. Hey, catcher. Pitcher. My voice cracked, traitorous. He dropped the bag, closed the distance in 3 strides. No kiss, just a hug, bone-crushing, scent of road dust and home. Missed you. Missed you too. We pulled back, awkward grins mirroring. Over cocoa in the kitchen, Dad tactfully vanishing to the garage, we unpacked. Texas was isolation. Vast skies, conservative whispers, but baseball thrived. Club team eyeing juniors for D3. Dad cooled off, he said, stirring marshmallows. Mom too, said I needed space but couldn't stay away. And Tyler, petty but lingering, expelled, moved to his aunt's. Justice delayed. We walked the fields that night, snow crunching under boots, stars pricking the black. I panicked, he admitted, breath clouding. Told them to protect you, thought distance would help. Stupid. Felt like betrayal. Honest, raw. It was. He stopped, facing me. Forgive me. I searched his face, regret etched, but love unwavering. Yeah, but no more running. Deal. His hand found mine, gloved fingers lacing. We stood there, world hushed, rebuilding on solid ground. Winter thawed into a muddy spring, mirroring the slow melt in our lives. Jake stayed through break, crashing on my couch, Dad's gruff, as long as he pulls his weight masking approval. We shoveled together, laughter echoing as snowballs flew. then shifted to the garage. Him spotting my lifts, me taping his elbow with care born of memory. No rush to rekindle flames. We rebuilt foundations first. Late talks over Dad's chili, drives with windows cracked to spring's green promise. But distance loomed. His community college semester beckoned in Lubbock. My Purdue grind intensified with winter workouts. "We'll make it work," he vowed one night. Our boots dangling off the back porch, stars winking approval. Weekends, summers, phones till they melt. I nodded, but logistics gnawed. 500 miles of highway, gas money tight, families probing. Still, we tried, calls at odd hours, him post-practice hoarse, me dodging dorm noise. Texts laced with inside jokes, photos of empty fields captioned wishing you were here. Baseball reclaimed us. Purdue's fall scrimmages were brutal. Freshmen hazing via sprints till puke. Coaches riding us like rented mules. I earned varsity catcher spot, framing sliders for a sophomore ace who threw smoke but lacked Jake's finesse. Games blurred. Wins electric, losses gutting, each inning a step toward something bigger. Jake's club team dominated locals, his fastball touching 92, whispers of junior college scouts. "Got an offer from Western Tech," he texted after a no-hitter. Voice note attached, excitement crackling. "Full ride if I transfer." Pride swelled, chased by ache. "Kick-ass, miss your curve." Spring break aligned miracles, we met halfway in Terre Haute. Cheap motel off I-70, hearts pounding like road drums. No grand gestures, just pizza on scratchy comforters. His head in my lap as I read aloud from a dog-eared catcher in the rye. Ironic, fitting. We kissed then, slow and rediscovered, hands mapping familiar paths with new reverence. "This is us," he murmured, tracing my collarbone. No hiding. It wasn't perfect. Awkward pauses when his phone buzzed with family check-ins. My paranoia flaring at a teammate's, "Who's the mystery guy?" text. But it was real, roots digging deep. Back at Purdue, life expanded. I joined the campus LGBTQ Alliance. Tentative at first, name tag pinned crooked at mixers. Stories echoed mine. Coming out in Bible Belt towns. Love's lost to fear. A guy named Ryan, lit major with a poet's drawl and earring glint, befriended me, platonic spark that eased isolation. "You're tougher than you look, Whitaker," he'd say over coffee, dissecting frost like old pals. Jake met him via video, good-natured ribbing about the competition, but trust held. "As long as he doesn't steal my spot behind the plate," Jake joked. Summer scorched Indiana gold. I lifeguarded at the community pool, whistling at cannonballs, bandaging scraped knees, while Jake worked his family's farm, baling hay under relentless sun. Weekends, we'd steal away. County roads with gravel-crunching tires, swimming holes where water ran cold and clear. One afternoon, lazy on a quilt by Sugar Creek, minnows nipping toes, he broached the future. Western Tech's in Kansas. Closer than Texas. 4 hours tops. His fingers traced patterns in the dirt. Nervous. Transfer there? We could. See each other more. My heart leaped, then checked. "Scouts? Your arm's gold now." He shrugged. "D3's fine. Stability over spotlight." Eyes earnest. "You worth more than a draft pick." We waited. Pros. Proximity, shared games. Cons. Uprooting, family fallout. His dad had thawed to tolerate, but Kansas meant starting over. "Think on it," I said, pulling him close. Sun dipped, painting us amber, and in that hush, decision felt secondary to the now. Fall semester hit like a fastball to the ribs. Midterms devouring nights, a pulled hamstring sidelining me for 2 weeks. Jake's transfer papers filed, acceptance glowing on his screen during our call. "We're doing this," he said, grin splitting his face. But conflict brewed subtle. Ryan's friendship deepened, study sessions stretching late. His laugh filling voids Jake's distance left. Innocent, but guilt gnawed when Jake asked, "This guy's cool." Voice light but undertone wary. "Yeah, just a friend." Reassurance, but seeds of misunderstanding sprouted. Thanksgiving reunited us at home. Elmwood dusted in first snow, holiday lights twinkling like stars fallen early. Dad hosted. Awkward charm. Turkey carved precise. Jake included at table without fanfare. Pass the gravy, Harlan, he grunted, and Jake's relieved grin lit the room. Post-feast walks cleared heads. Fields crunching frost, breath dragons in cold. Love this, Jake said, mittened hand in mine. Us, here. Me too. But as we crested a hill, town lights sprawling below like a promise kept, doubt whispered. How long till it frays again? Winter break tested resolve. Jake's family hosted farmhouse warm with wood stove glow. His mom enveloping me in hugs scented of apple pie. His dad, grizzled in flannel, clapped my back. Heard you're starting for the Boilermakers. Good on ya. Progress, glacial but genuine. We stole moments in the barn. Hayloft secrets, whispers amid bales, kisses tasting of cider. But tension simmered. His sister, home from IU, cornered me one morning. You heard him last time. Don't again. I won't. Vow fierce. But her eyes held memory's weight. Back to Purdue, the fray accelerated. A campus party. Keg stands and bass thumping. Saw Ryan pull me aside, breath beery. Alex, you're amazing. Like, more than friends. His hand on my arm, hopeful. Panic flared. Ryan, there's someone. He deflated, gracious. Got it. No harm. But the seed planted. Texts from Jake sharpening. Who's this Ryan? Keep liking your posts. Friend. Chill. But chill evaded. Calls grew clipped. Silences stretching. Climax crested in February. Big Ten opener against Michigan. I started, blocking a wild one that bloodied my nose. Game on despite the flow. We won 4-3, walk-off double, adrenaline surging. Post-game high, I called Jake, gushing. Sounds epic, he said, but flat. Saw pics. You and that guy, close. Ryan? It's nothing. Looked like something. Hurt-laced accusation. After everything. It's not. Frustration boiled. You're in Kansas. I'm here. Life happens. Life? Or excuses? The line crackled. Then, maybe distance is breaking us. Don't. Plea raw. Come up. Talk. He did weekend drive. Arriving windswept and weary. Dorm reunion awkward. Nate vanishing tactfully. Pizza boxes piling. We paced the cramped space, words tumbling like fumbles. I get scared, I admitted, sitting cross-legged on the bed. That you'll find someone closer. Easier. He knelt, eyes level. And I worry you're moving on. Ryan's there. I'm not. He's not you. Truth simple. We hashed it. Fears unpacked like gear bags, vulnerabilities aired. Ended tangled in sheets. Not carnal but connected. Whispers weaving vows anew. Fight for this, he murmured. Worth it. Morning brought clarity. Ryan faded to acquaintance. Jake's visits scheduled monthly. Trust rebuilt, brick by deliberate brick. Spring bloomed with tournaments. Purdue advancing to regionals. Jake's Western Tech squad upsetting D2 powers. We crossed paths at a showcase in Indianapolis, neutral ground. Him pitching BP to my framing. Scouts mingling like it was fate. Post-scrimmage dinner. Steakhouse with Naugahyde booths. Sealed it. Plans for summer lease in Lafayette. Him commuting for junior year. But humanism's thread wove deeper. Back home for Mom's birthday, we visited the silo. Ivy claiming our initials, but enduring. This place saved us, Jake said, arm around me. Nah, we saved us. Kiss soft, affirming. Grad school whispers for me, sports psych, maybe coaching. Jake eyed coaching too, post-pro dreams tempered. Not grand slams, but steady hits, life's true measure. Yet shadows lingered. Tyler resurfaced. Social media barb. Heard the lovebirds chirp. Blocked. Ignored. But sting remained. Town evolved slow. Pride flag at the library. Pastor Reynolds' sermon on Love Thy Neighbor. No exceptions. One evening, as fireflies danced like old friends, Jake and I sat on my porch swing, creaking rhythm. Happy? He asked, head on my shoulder. Yeah. Contentment, hard won. You? With you? Always. Summer settled like a well-worn glove, comfortable and sure. We leased a one-bedroom above a laundromat in West Lafayette. Peeling paint, AC rattling like an asthmatic ghost, but ours. Jake transferred full-time to Purdue's extension program, commuting minimal. I balanced classes and summer league, catching for a semi-pro squad that barnstormed the Midwest. Mornings. Coffee brewed black, him stretching for throws while I timed swings on the fire escape. Evenings. Dinners scavenged from food trucks, Netflix marathons with feet tangled, the world's noise fading to our quiet sink. Dad visited once, toolbox in hand, fixed that leaky faucet before it floods. Staying for burgers on the grill, Jake manning tongs like a pro. You boys got it figured, he said later, clapping shoulders. No elaboration, but the nod said volumes. Acceptance earned. Mom met Jake over Skype, grilling him on farm life till he blushed. Treat my boy right, she teased, but eyes warm. Family mending, threads pulling taut. Baseball's rhythm pulsed. Regional tournaments in humid domes. Bus rides thick with sunflower seeds and stat debates. Jake pitched relief, his submarine delivery baffling hitters. I called games from the squat, dirt caking knees like war paint. A doubleheader in Bloomington sealed our season. 2-1, 6-4 wins, scouts exchanging cards post-game. Good battery, one muttered, scribbling notes. Battery. Off-field, life layered rich. Campus pride events drew us. Rainbow face paint, floats blaring Lady Gaga. Jake's arm around me unapologetic amid cheers. Friends multiplied. Ryan reconciled as group buddy. Nate's crew folding us in for trivia nights. No spotlights, just belonging. But conflicts echo-tested. August heat wave brought Jake's dad unannounced. Truck rumbling up, face thunderous. Heard rumors. He barked over the diner's pie, eyes on me. Town talk, you two. Public now. Jake stiffened. Yeah, Dad. We are. Silence chewed. Then, your ma worries. Legacy and all. Old wounds reopened. Farm air expectations. Church pew judgments. I spoke low. Mr. Harlan, love's not a legacy. It's a choice. We chose each other. He chewed slow, fork scraping. Choices have costs. But as he left, handshake firm. Keep throwing strikes, son. Ripple effects followed. Jake's calls home tense, his throws wild in practice. What if he pulls funding? He confessed one night, rain lashing windows. Forces me back? Then we fight. Arms around him, heartbeat steady. Or pivot. Jobs, whatever. Together. He nodded, but fear's shadow clung. I countered with action. Weekend drive to his farm, facing the Harlan Empire head-on. Fields rolled endless. Combines droning harvest hymns. His mom hugged fierce. Missed you, baby. Dinner a spread of roast and stories. Dad thawed over after-dinner walks. Gravel crunching confessions. Lost a buddy in Nam. Gay. Never said. Regret that silence. Vulnerability bridged. You're good for him, Alex, he admitted. Steadies the wild. Relief flooded. Chains loosened. Fall semester synced. Shared anthro class. Notes passed with doodles. Study breaks in the stacks turning to hidden kisses. Big Ten season ignited. Purdue 8-2 early. My average .285 behind the dish. Jake's ERA sub 3 in bullpen stints. A series against Ohio State. Whiteout crowd. Brass band blaring. Clinched with his save. Slider freezing the batter. My throw nailing the thief at second. Post-game dogpile. His yell in my ear. That's my guy. Media buzz followed local paper profile. Dynamic duo. Whitaker-Harlan battery powers boilers. Subtle wink to our story, but empowering. Town clippings arrived. Elmwood Gazette proud. Even Pastor Reynolds' congrats card. Love wins fields and hearts. Winter brought introspection. Holiday break home, we volunteered at the rec center. Coaching little league hopefuls. Jake's patience with a shy lefty mirroring his own start. One kid, timorous with a glove too big, nailed a grounder on my encouragement. See? You've got it, I said. Jake's grin. Like us. New Year's Eve under Elmwood's lone fireworks. Amateur pops from the VFW, we toasted with stolen champagne. To more, he said, kiss sparkling. To us. Spring's thaw mirrored renewal, regionals in Omaha hotel lobbies humming scouts. We advanced, heartbreakers. Extra innings thriller, Jake's 1-2-3 ninth ceiling semis. Finals against Nebraska, stadium electric, 10,000 strong. Tested metal. They led 4-2 bottom 8. Our rally tied it, my homer in the ninth, a looping liner over the wall, pushing extras. Jake closed, 3 batters, 3 KS, confetti raining as we clinched 5-4. National seeds whispered. Pros circled. But victory's afterglow was private. Rooftop bar overlooking campus, skyline twinkling, his hand in mine. Wherever this goes, he said. I'm all in. Me too. Graduation dawned brilliant. Caps airborne, diplomas clutched. Dad teared up in the stands. Mom flew in, bouquet bursting. Post-ceremony party at the farm, barbecue sprawling. Friends from both worlds mingling. Tyler even showed, humbled by scandal's fallout. Apology mumbled over beers. Was a dick. Sorry. Water under bridges. Summer post-grad. Offers trickled. Me, grad assistant at Purdue, pursuing masters in sports management. Jake. Independent league contract in Michigan. AA ball. Foot in pro door. Distance again, 3 hours north, but surmountable. Weekend warrior. He grinned, packing his truck. Our send-off. Silo vigil. Full circle. Stars wheeled overhead. Fireflies Morse coding eternity. Betrayal taught us, I said, head on his chest. That run made us stronger. Yeah. Fingers in my hair. Human, huh? Messy, but real. We drove separate ways, dawn lit, but connected. Texts pinging roadsides, calls syncing commutes. Life unfolded. His league debuts, my thesis drafts. Visits bridging gaps, love enduring miles. Years layered. Jake's call up to High A, my coaching staff spot. Weddings, our small barn venue under Harlan Oaks. Vows exchanged with bats crossed like swords. Kids came later. Adopted twins, rambunctious with mitts, teaching us legacy's true shape. Elmwood evolved. Pride parades snaking Main Street. Our story footnote in progress. Dad retired to fishing. Mom's family swelled. Jake's arm gave at 30, transitioned to pitching coach seamless. Our battery eternal. Reflections came quiet. Porch swings at dusk. Grandkids' laughter echoing fields. Unexpected, that locker room. He'd say, hand in mine. Best pitch you ever threw. Kiss soft, enduring. In the end, not tragedy's sting nor triumph's roar defined us, but the humanistic weave. Love chosen daily, conflicts forged to strength, betrayals to wisdom. American as apple pie and curveballs. Resilient, raw, redeemed.